Appian tool, like what is the BPM process and BPM tool is, and what's the difference, and what's the definition of the BPM, business process management, and what is an Appian and how it is different from the other coding languages like Java and .NET and all, right? So have you heard about this Appian? What's the business process management?
I just heard about it, but I don't have any idea about it.
Yeah, so business process management is like uh, if you want to build an application which requires some process to be performed in the backend, and then some have some approvals things and all, right? So we go for this BPM tools. So this Appian tool is also built into the Java. So it's not required that we should be knowing this Java language to uh, you know to work on this Appian tool. That's what we just discussed. It's a very few things. Yeah.
Okay, I just have one doubt here. So you said like
Mhm.
it's built in Java, which means that it's being written in Java language. That's what you mean, or we have
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
know
I
the.
mean, this Appian tool has been designed by using the Java code.
Okay, but is a prerequisite that we have to know the Java code in order to
Not at
learn?
all. No,
Oh,
not at all. Not
okay,
at all.
thank you.
Yeah. Like suppose if you go like if you have like 10 of your experience, and then the company require asks you to create some plugins for this tool, right? That plugins needs to be developed into the Java. But Appian gives you the pre-built inbuilt plugins. You don't need to create a plugin for yourself. Everything will be available already, right? And people are there to create a plugins and also, yeah, nobody, you don't need to know the about the Java language or .NET and anything. Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Okay, so let me share my screen back. So we also talk about the low code, right? So what's the low code and no code? There are some other tools are available into the market, which is no code. You don't have to write any code. But Appian is a low code. You still have to write some codes to perform your actions. Like for example, if I say there's a text field you have to create, right? So for text field, you don't have to write any code. But to put some validation on that particular text field, you have to write some code to it, and the code will be very similar. You might have you will definitely have learned in the colleges or somewhere. It's well like a simple if condition or condition and condition. These kinds of code will be there. All right. So uh, please be, because we have seen this, people are thinking we don't have to do any coding, but no, it's not like that. In Appian you have to still do some of the codings, very limited, very I mean simple codes, but yes, you have to do it. Okay. Most of the things in Appian we do is the configurations. We just have to configure the things and it will be ready for your for your requirement. All right. So you can also automate any processes, like if you want to run any process at a particular set of time, and as a scheduler process you can create it. It's very fast. If you talk about if you want to create an application in Java, it may take weeks or months. But in Appian, if you are ready with the data and you know what the data is, and you can easily build this application within like days. 2 days or 3 days is more than enough to have at least working uh, working phase, and like phase one for you ready in couple of days. All right. As it says, it's a low code automation. So yeah. So we will be seeing the what's the BPM, and then what is the market positioning in the Appian right now. What is the low code, as we were discussed, but we can come again, and where it fits, and data and processes, object and components that we will be using and creating this one. We will also see the architectural showcase of this Appian, how it has been designed and how it's worked into the backend. And I'll be showing you one of the applications that is already there that we may have built. I mean, we have built into the last trainings, or you can see the existing Appian applications and all. And we'll go over the question and answer. So yes, we discussed about the BPM notations, like what is the BPM. So as I talk about the I just give an example of like how to create a tea. Like you have to take some milk and then sugar and the water and then mix it. So there's a process behind it to prepare tea, right? So for any requirement, any business that we will be performing, there will be set of steps to be performed. For example, you can see that there's an online shopping and the customers diagram. You can see it here. So yeah, anybody wants to say something? All right. Okay. Just be on mute if you don't want to speak, because it's create some noise. All right. Okay. So what's a business process model notation diagram? You can see that, right? A company can send you an offer. You can go and you can start. You can accept the offer. You can decline the offer, or you can you want to make some purchase, you can send the payment, and once the company receives the payments, then an invoice will be generated, and then the product that you wanted to buy can be delivered to your proper address. So I mean, there's a process behind everything, right? A step by step task that needs to be performed. So we do it for like BPM, process intelligence. So in Appian, actually we have a concept called process modeling. The process modeling is nothing but the same structure that you are seeing here. We will be designing a set of process which will be telling you about, or giving you the architectural view, like, okay, this is the request that I have received from the user. Now, how you want to process the data to perform the further actions. Like suppose you have applied a leave request, right? You have given your start date, you have given your end date. Based on that, the number of days has been calculated. You have given the reason, and then that particular set of data will be get captured to the database, and then a status will be generated, like say approval pending, and then one task will be generated for your manager, where your manager will be either approving it or rejecting it based on the client requirement or the work assigned, right? So suppose user approve it, they will select the approve, and then they submit their task, then your leave will be approved. So there is a process behind it which is running, right? So that is how we process all those things into the process model. We design that workflow into the process modeling. Yes, I mean, if you talk about the last few years, Appian is leading the market in the BPM. You know, it's lots of requirement. Even during the COVID, there was no openings for any other languages. But in Appian, there was many companies was hiring for Appian, and they were allowing you to work from the home, and so that kind of market Appian is right now in the market, and it will be there for like uh, next 10 years, I can say, because every year Appian introduce 4 new releases to it, so 4 new versions of it, and it is keep improving itself, and in terms of the UI enhancement and then the other things, it is keep enhancing itself, so that's why the Appian is leading the market from last 5 years to, I can say, next coming 10 years. All right. um as I talk about the Appian process modeling, yes, the process modeling is used to define and design the workflows, like what data you want to process and how do you want to process your data. So all the things you can see in the process modeling. And also we can say it's a low code. So low code is like, as I mentioned, like suppose if you want to put some condition, like, if suppose I ask you to insert your name, and you have given your name and you have inserted 1 2 3 4, right? So it's an invalid name. So we can put a validation, like, if the name does not have, I mean, any alphabetical characters, then you can throw the validation message saying that invalid name, something like that, right? So those kind of coding you have to just put into the in Appian. um See, and Appian is why it's very flexible, because it's also allow you to do the integrations with the third parties. It's not like you can work within the Appian only. If you have data at your some other different levels, you can easily integrate your data within Appian, and you can work with that. And also you can like receiving the data from third party and work with that, and then update the data to the third party back to that, which is very easy to do in Appian. Initially it was very tough, we had to create lots of request and response things, but now Appian has come with this their integration object and API objects, which is working very smoothly to perform all this task. Yes, you can see all these screens, right? These are nothing but the Appian UI. Yes, please. Okay, so you can see this screen UI designs, right? On the screen that you are looking at, right? Everything is designed into the Appian, and one of the most important things is that you don't have to code differently for like working into the desktop or the mobile or the tab. It automatically syncs its UI based on their um, design. All right. So Appian is enhancing itself. I know pretty much very rich in interface design. Initially, it was not there. It was very plain interfaces, like a very simple form and all, right. But now Appian has come up with their lots of layouts, which is used to make the interface very user friendly and interactive to the users. I mean, any questions still here, guys? I mean, do you have anything in your mind to ask?
Is Appian is only used for waterfall method, or it can be used for agile too?
No. Definitely agile. It's. I mean, it can. It will go for the agile. I mean, waterfall model. Yes, definitely you can work with that. But yeah, agile is 100%. Possible in Appian development, and
And what are
Appian
the
even suggest. Yeah.
prerequisites for to learn this tool?
Um. Nothing much as I can say, because the coding is very limited, very low here. I mean, you just need to know the if condition, for condition, and and most of the functions that we have here, right? Suppose if I ask you to concatenate two words, right? So as we have the concat function in the Java, same we have it in Appian as well. So you don't have to learn very deeply into the coding and all, right? It will be you will be seeing while developing it will come up with your language itself, like suppose you want to as I can say, clean any words from this any text, if you have the clean with function. So you think about the function, what can be the name, and then exact word you will be find it able to, you will be get it to the functions names, that will be performing the task for you. So but yeah, that comes with the practice, definitely. But yes, you don't need to be very deeply knowledge into the coding or any other things to know the to start the development into Appian.
So is that we should know even the the data side, like SQL, something like that in beforehand?
If you have any knowledge, well and good. But if you don't, right? So Appian gives you the inbuilt database that is called the MariaDB, right? And the MariaDB, it's very easy to create tables and all, right? So initially, you don't need to be very heavy, to have some very heavy store procedures and triggers to be written, the views to be written, right? But initial table, you can create it very easily because the MariaDB also gives you the like the feature, like just define the table name, define the column names, and hit submit. The table will be created for you, right? So you don't have to be very depth knowledge in the database. If you have any initial knowledge, which is fine.
Oh, sorry. What did you mention? The built-in database that you call?
MariaDB.
What is that again? Can you please spell it?
Maria.
Oh, MariaDB.
Yeah. Initially it was
Okay.
MySQL, but they have now converted to the MariaDB.
Okay.
It's very much similar to the MySQL. Very much similar to the MySQL.
MySQL. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So there are some companies feedback that they have given for this Appian. They said like they have created one application for the 12 months clinical trial startup time, right? That was reduced by the 1.5 months. That how much faster Appian is, and then it impacted to the development. Again, there's a one big giant company where he says that reduce the reporting time from hours to minutes. Because the graphical representation of the charts and like pie chart, bar chart, line chart, all those things are very easily configured into the Appian, which can give you the data based on your running data in current data in the graphical view very easily. You don't have to much do the configurations. I mean, just a few configuration and much coding, you will be get it done. So, just like that, Sanofi and then Foresters, they also have given that highly rank IPN as a highly possible tool into the BPM, and many of them are using it. I mean, you name the bigger giant companies like Barclays in banking, Barclays, and you talk about the Merck into healthcare domain. So there are two main, let's say financial and then healthcare. Now they are using Appian like anything for all of these. Their in-house application, right? They are using this Appian. So that's the how the market posing recommend Appian. Yep, definitely Appian is the leader. Yeah.
How is the job market for this Appian?
I mean, as I said, right, in during COVID, I received like almost 15 to 20 offers, like to for they need Appian resources. So that's how during COVID nobody was working, but they are allowing us to please work from home, but we need resources. That's how the and during the COVID only the healthcare domain was increases like anything. They are creating many applications in Appian.
How is it different from other, that all the development companies are not using Appian, only few of them are using Appian, right? If this
What
is
do you mean by development company?
any of the companies, like if it is, this is a really a good tool and it is very popular, so why
So you
all the
tell
companies
me,
are
I mean, I can tell you like Barclays, FRB, Capgemini, you can say TCS, Accenture, you take any name, SCL, everyone is using this Appian. Smaller to bigger, all of the company are now using Appian. Emphasis, um, talk- tell a name, everyone is using Appian. They
So
have
how long it
good,
will
very
take
good
to
projects.
complete, like to learn the whole Appian, like duration?
I'll tell you, I have 10 years of experience in Appian and still I'm learning. Right,
Oh,
so there is no perfect answer that how can you learn completely, but yes, to be in a proper
What are
hands-on.
the learning paths? Like, do we need to learn into the development side or administration? Or what are
So we
the
are
different? Now, what we are
we
going
are
to learn
providing.
here?
Yes, so what we are providing the basic development skills for you, like where you will be creating the entire application by yourself. There are certain new things that happen that has been introduced to the Appian, like the RPA and then the IDP. So those things we are not going to cover. But yes, a basic development where you can build an entire application by your own, we will be covering that.
So, this course is only covering development side or administration side or
No, development side.
architecture side. What is the actual course curriculum?
So development side. So we will be showing you the course content. This is the course content. Let me
I know
open it.
course content. I just got
Uh-huh.
it from her, but
Okay.
that is not covering what kind of track we are going into. It's not clearly
Mm.
saying that we are into development side or admin side
Yeah. Okay. Let me tell
or
you that. Yeah. Is we are
business
into the
analyst
development.
side. Yeah.
No, no, no. We are into the development side. So by completing this training, you will be able to create an application into the Appian as a developer. You know,
Okay.
not into
But
the like. Yeah.
is this course is suitable for to get a job into market? Like, are we when
Definitely.
we
Definitely, because see, for getting the administrator side, and then so see, company will require one administrator, but they will
Okay, I
require at
got
least
it,
10
but
developers.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you we are talking only APN, but
Mhm.
what we are going to cover is it we are covering into development side or admin side, or I want to know full clarity about that. That's the reason.
So yes, so we are going to cover the development side.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So as you said, like during COVID time,
Mm.
it became so popular, and
I'm saying that problem. I'm saying that there were lots of opportunities for Appian. Many people switched their jobs and they started work from home, and then during COVID, I mean, working from home, they have switched many jobs. So that's what kind of requirement is there into the Appian right now. Yeah.
so as a developer, it's like as you are saying, like the whole, let's say, suppose in the company, whatever the experience that I had, there will
Mhm.
be a team where there will be taking different parts, like different roles, like development will be doing one guy, testing will be doing another guy,
Mhm.
and administration then doing another guy. But as you are saying here, is it everything is included in this APN, and you are the person who is responsible to do everything?
See, it depends. Like, I have worked many organizations. One of the organizations, I mean, like, for example, as I say that they have the separate team. They have a separate team for the testing. They have a separate, I mean, resources at their on site for the architecture, administration. But they have a separate team for development as well. In offshore, they have like 10 to 12 members for a development team. So people will be doing the development. In Appian, as in it's not that tough to do the testing. But many people, many organizations prefers to have a testing team because they want to have some manual testing. They want to have some automation testing. So they have a separate people for them. But as a developer, we will be designing this entire application and we will be doing the unit testing for it. So we do the unit testing and then we develop the application.
This Appian, is it going to take the is it going to use the software development cycle, the whole life cycle, or how is it, like the whole life cycle it continues, or
Yes, any software development needs to be go with the complete life cycle, right? Because we will starting getting the requirement to building this, implementing this requirements, and then unit testing it, deploying to the testing environment, get it tested by the tester there, then deploy to the UAT, and then once UAT is performed, then go to the production. So it will contains the entire HLC process.
So what role is going to be ours? So the as after you complete this, after we complete
Mhm.
this course, so what is our role? Like, what exactly we will be doing as a, if we know the whatever the course that you are,
Mhm.
offering us, if we finish that, what
Mhm.
role, kind of role that we can apply, and what our roles and responsibilities are going to be?
So you will be working as an Appian developer. So where you will be getting the requirement in a sprint wise, in a sprint there will be like 4 to 5 or 7 or 10 stories. You will be working on the stories, completing that, doing the unit testing, right? Those kind of actions will be there for you as an Appian developer.
Okay.
Yeah,
What kind of
and then further.
experience, if we go for a market,
Mhm.
what kind of experience we need to put into the CV? Because
See,
how
if
long
you
back
if you
this
are
Appian
already
is introduced?
Sure. So see, if you have already experienced, right? Like suppose you are like 10 years of experience, so I'll suggest if you already have a 10 years of experience in some different technology, right? So you can say that, okay, I have out of 10, you can say that I have 8 years of experience in some other technology that you have already worked on. And then other two you can add into the Appian. I'll suggest not to go more than 2 years, because if you increase your number of experience in Appian, the questions will be according to that. So maximum I can say
When
if you
is
are
it,
very.
when Appian is entered into the market, I would like to know as well.
See, Appian was started. Let me tell you. It was started 2008, and then around 14 it was very popular. 13, 14,
Okay.
right?
What are the competitor for Appian? Like, what are the other tools in the market
So
now?
we have Pega. Uh, we have Pega, and then we have like Salesforce, which is again, I mean, that was CRM tools, but now they are also trying into the Appian, I mean, BPM. So these are the tools right now which is competitor of the Appian.
Okay.
Yeah. There's one more new tool is getting introduced to the market. It's very new, Coda, which is no code. I mean, it's you don't have to write any code to that one, but still, that will take a lot of time to if they want to overcome. Because see, no tool, no code is also have some demerits, right? Because uh, you can't configure few requirements there, right? Suppose if you business wants some tricky requirements or some complex logic, right? That is not possible into the no code. So that's the limitation there. But in low code gives you the flexibility of making some changes to your requirement and creating something out of box that not present in the Appian, right? So that's the benefit of choosing the low code.
Is it
In
similar
simple
to
words,
Salesforce, this one? You said
See,
the
as I say,
other.
right? Sales, yeah, the other is Pega. It's very much similar to the Pega, but the thing is that Pega, the UI enhancement in Pega is not that good as compared to Appian. Appian is giving a very rich interfaces now. Yeah.
No, no, no. What I'm trying
in
to say
simple
is, so,
words,
so when somebody
which
mentioned it, like, asked, like, what are the other, the tools that are competing with this Appian, and you mentioned
Mhm.
the Salesforce and as well as Pega. So is
Mhm.
that Salesforce and this Appian? It's a little like similar, and they use for it's a BP, it's a CRM tool, right? But this
Salesforce.
is BPM tool.
Yes, so that's what I said, right? Salesforce is now also trying their hand into the BPM. So what happens, why it's a competitor? Because many companies are already using the Salesforce, right? Now Salesforce is saying that I can also give you the BPM thing. So that's why they're taking a new license. The company wants to go with the existing license, right? So that's why I say the Salesforce is also a competitor of the Appian.
Okay. So does did let you know the Salesforce came, then the Appian came, before Salesforce Appian came.
Yeah, Appian is like from 2008. I'm not sure about Salesforce, but yes, Appian is there from 8 to 9, and then 13, 14 it started. Uh, you know, not even 13, 14, like 11, 2012. There was a big project. I mean, I was part of the project when I see that okay, yeah, this is a very demandable, the Appian. But that time it was getting 10 cents, but now it's very highly demandable. Same way we have a service now, right? Service now is also the competitor of the Appian. And IBM BPM, yeah, IBM BPM is one of the competitor, because many companies, if they are working on a BPM project, they were using IBM as well. So Pega take over the IBM, and then now Appian taking over the Pega. So that's how the market is going on for this BPM thing. But yes,
So
these are the competitors.
who developed the Appian?
Appian is itself is a company, APPIN Appian.
Or it's a company itself, the developed company itself, it's Appian then.
Appian, yeah, Appian
Oh,
Corporation.
okay.
A question. How long this course schedule you are planning for learning?
So this course goes, 30 to 32 sessions. When I say session, each session, each 1 hour, for each day. So I mean, meanwhile we have holidays and weekends, so it may go like up to 45 days to 50 days of training.
Okay, that's a kind of 2 months. Okay, so when you said coding, which language is that is going to be?
It has its own language, but it's very much similar to the Java, like, or you can say C, anything, like very similar, like if condition. If I say if, how it is, like if condition true and false part, so that kind of coding it has.
Okay, and so you does like Pega, does this also have certification? Because to my knowledge, like Pega certification is highly important to get into a job. And you also mentioned about 2 years of experience, kind of to begin with for an Appian. Does this also have certification? Of course, I could have Googled it. I didn't notice that part. Does this also
Yes,
have
we do.
certification
I mean,
for Appian?
Appian also has a certification, and certifications always give you plus point, right? So Appian has 3 level of certifications. One is called associate developer, senior developer, and lead developer. So if you are
Okay.
associate or senior developer, which is good enough to get into the market, even if you have the associate developer, which is good enough to get into the market, but it will be always be plus point, higher the certification, you will get the chance, right? So
That's
So is
that's
this
clear.
course
And
is
one more question.
sufficient to take that certification?
Yeah,
Is this course is sufficient to take that certification?
see, I'll say associate developer is definitely yes, but senior developer, you need some practice to do so, right? Then you can go with the senior developer. It's the costly,
okay.
right? $200 for each certification. So if you are working with such a company which is a partner of Appian, and or if they are already using this Appian, then you will get a 50% of discount, like $100. Like if you are in Capgemini, then Capgemini is a partner of Appian, so they give you 50% of discount. So you have to pay $100 for each certification.
Okay, another question I also had is you guys coming from Harsha Training. What is a better tool to study for being in this platform, this kind of a tool, like a Pega or a IPN or ServiceNow, or which tool is like you recommend? Like if I ask you, you would say Appian, and you said it has a very good market and upfront. If you look into Harsha Training, some videos like he generally posts on YouTube, right? He said Pega has a very good market in upcoming days. So as a person like us who's not new, who's not aware of this, which tools should we go for?
So see, as I am an Appian developer, right? So I know the requirement of the Appian is pretty much very high. Every organizations are so doing that one. But see, the thing is that if some companies are already working the Pega, and then you are employed to that particular company, right? And the company wants you to work on the Pega project, right? Then you must go with the Pega application. If you want to switch your career, then I can say, okay, go with the Appian because it's a highly demandable.
So you're saying that comparing to Pega, Appian is better than Pega, and also ServiceNow and what else tools are available in the market like Salesforce, correct?
Correct. See, ServiceNow and Coda and all those things they are getting attention, but right now Appian is already in the top of the market for BPM.
And one more question for people already working in Pega: how tough or easy is to convert from Pega to Appian? Of course, the psychology of working could be similar. Is it more like an understanding how the tool is used, like going from here to there? Is that the learning curve, or what else is the learning curve? For instance, if I'm doing a Java programming and now I'm doing the JavaScript programming. So my logical brain is same, but my syntax is different. Okay, so that is the kind of learning I should be going for. In case of a person learning Pega and switching to Appian and later service now or code or whatever it is, but as of now we're talking about Pega. So sorry, Appian. A person learned Pega moving to Appian. What is the kind of learning curve? I know you said about coding. Other than that.
Is this question for me? Like I haven't worked on the Pega, so
Yeah,
that's why.
no. My question to you, because the reason I'm asking is from Harsha Training is always Pega. Okay, so I'm always been behind Pega, and of course I'm aware of Appian. What is the learning curve now? For instance, to you as well, if you have to go back to Pega, just hypothetically, what would you think it will be a learning curve would be? The similar way, a Pega person coming into Appian. What is the learning curve?
See, I have
Because
seen
at least you
people
must have gone through.
I have seen people who was working in the Pega and switched back to the Appian, and it was very easy for them to take it out because the concept wise it's very similar. It's just the functions
Tool
and some
usage.
syntax are different, but the
Tool usage or the syntax?
tool usage, drag and drop is here as well. I mean, Appian also gives a drag and drop, and Pega also there's a drag and drop. So it was very easy for them to take over in the Appian and then start working continue. I mean, this is what I have seen people, and not only one of them, because maybe the people is very good in the coding or development, so you can take it. But I have seen such people who were in the Pega and then they can easily switch back to the Appian, and it was not that tough for them to continue.
Okay, so Pega, I'm seeing the training course is offered like in with Harsha for 3 months, and Appian is offered for 2 months. What as you said right now, is it easy comparing to Pega?
Yes, Appian is pretty much easy. I mean, the configuration and all is very easy. If you want to configure an email thing, suppose if you want to trigger an email, right? What I have heard, like in Pega, I'm not sure how it works, but in Appian, you just have to define the parameters, what needs to be done. Like all the parameters have been already created. You just have to pass the values to it, and then it will work. And you have to just do some configuration and very less coding. If your email requires some tough logic or to be sent something like conditions, then that's fine, but there's no such use of much coding to do it. If you have simple values, it will be very easy to send an email and all. So that kind of configuration we have in Appian.
Okay, I think that's it for me.
All right, thank you. Any more questions, guys? I can walk you through the Appian, how it looks like, so you can be, see like, what kind of design we have in Appian. If no
So
question,
I
I
have
can.
one question. In case if we miss any of the class, do you guys send the recordings of
So
the demo?
we always do the recordings. Every session will be get recorded, and you will be getting that recording link. You should be downloading it, because we can't keep the recording for longer, right? Because there's a lot of recordings here going on. So you should be we will be sharing the recording links. You should be downloading it. But yeah, and then if you don't download, and then later we can ask someone that who has already downloaded, they can share with you. But yes, we do download. I mean, record the session. We'll be sharing with you over email, on WhatsApp, or the the Google classes.
Okay, thank you.
See, the thing is that missing the session is not a big deal, but the thing is that not doing the practice is a big thing. People, what the tendency of the people I have seen that doing session, okay, I have the recording, I'll see it later, which cause a lots of issues. People not able to follow up what's going on because they haven't done the practice. So that's the bigger issue. So you should be doing the practice as we are, keep whatever we are doing into the classes.
So is
Alex.
that is it a tool that yeah, or is it a software that we can is it we can download it on our own, or how is it going to work?
See, Appian allows you for two versions, like it says a cloud and then on-premise. So for practice, they gives you the cloud versions. You can easily sign up and you can get your own environment, and then you can work with that. You will be getting your development environment. Let me show you how the environment looks like, and then we can talk about the the registration process. Yeah, so see, if you can see my screen, this is the very first page, that belongs, that a basic user and the system administrator user or the developer can see it. So when I talk about the basic user and system admin or the developer, right? In Appian, we have three kinds of users. Basic users are the users who will be using this application, the end product, and they will be able to get access of this page, where we can have the news tab, and then we can have the task tab. If some task has been assigned to you, you can go and select that particular task and work on that one. The third tab we have is like records, where if you have any record created for your application, those records will be shown here. Similar for the reports, if you have any report for your um, applications, those report will be visible here. And then we have an actions, like suppose we have created an application called lead management system, and in the lead management system you want to trigger any action, a new action, or if you want to create a new action, like you want to apply for a leave, right? So you can go and you can initiate a request or something like that. So this will give you the application name, and for each application, whatever the actions are available, those will be listed under the action tab. So this is the very first and basic page for the as an Appian user, so which will be available for the end users. So end users can see it. Basically the users will be using your application, whatever you have built. So they will be able to see this one. All right. The second interface that we can see, right? How can we go there? We can click on this grid icon, and you can see the Appian designer. So this page is only for the developers and the system admin. Whoever the developer can only see this application page, where we have this list of the applications. And it's not like one environment can have only one application. You can have n number of applications created in your environment. So all these are nothing but the applications. Inside each applications, you will have multiple objects created for your applications, like expression rules, process models, interfaces, and then constants. All those things will be here. Okay. And the third interface that we have is called admin console. So admin console is basically for the system administrator. Whoever the system admin, they can have the access of this admin page, where you can set the like the branding of your application, how your application should be look like, what should the color of your application should be there, and then what are the files you want to upload. If you want to create a new users for your application, you can create it. And then if you want to create a third-party credentials, if you want to create some API keys and all, right? So those kind of things that can be configured into the admin console. If you are only have a developer access, you cannot have the access of this page. Right. The fourth important page is called cloud database. This cloud database is nothing but the MariaDB that I talk about. So here we can go and create our tables, views, stored procedures, and triggers for our application purpose. And this is the inbuilt, but it's not like Appian can work only with this database. If you have your inbuilt, if you have your own database like SQL Server or the MySQL or the Oracle, you can also integrate with those database to Appian very easily. Okay, so this is how the Appian sites are available. So once you log in and register in the community, you will be able to get this designer environment where you can go and practice it. All right. So this is about the Appian environment. Okay, let me show you one very important thing that is called Appian Architecture, how it looks like. As we talk about the companies, right? So see, all these companies are working with this Appian. Okay. So we have this is the Appian product architecture. Like any other application development, we have 3 layers here as well. Like we have interface layer, we have services, and then we have data. So what are the interface layers? We have seen tempo, right? The page that I've shown you, right? This is nothing but the tempo. So this is called tempo page. You see this suits, and then we have a tempo. All right. So this you have got tempo, and then sites. Just like the way we have this tempo page, this is very basic page that Appian uses from the beginning. But now we have introduced the sites, and sites are like very useful features now, and everyone is using this site. And then we have designer environments that we have seen this designer environment where we can go and actually do the development. So we have this. Let me show you Appian designer. So this is the designer environment where you can go and actually do your development. Same is admin console. We have seen like where you can go and work with the product and all, right? Create users, and then file uploads settings you can do, or API keys you can create. All right. Now, what kind of services it provides? Like we have the objects called APIs, integrations, all those things we can connect, and we can connect to the the web servers, the Apache and then IS, and then we have oracles we can connect. So we all those users, designers, administrator, and integrator. Appian also gives you the in-house file systems as well, where you can capture any document to be up, that if you suppose you want to upload any document, that will get captured to your within the Appian. You don't have to capture it in your local system. So Appian allows you to upload any document to your environment. So it has a separate file system for it. Okay. Database, as you said, right? You see that Oracle, IBM, SQL Server, MySQL, everything can be possible to be connected with the Appian. And the search server is like, if you have created any objects that you can easily find within your environment. So that's, we have a separate search server for Appian. So that's how Appian has been designed internally by using the Java code and all. So if you see the plugins, right, if you are using the on-premise versions, you will be able to see the plugins. So those plugins will be developed in the in Java code. So that's how the Appian looks like. Yeah, I mean, do you have any questions, guys, for this Appian? So let me clear one more thing, that you don't have to be very much well known in the coding area. It will be easy to pick it up the development and then start working on it. Yeah, sure, you can go ahead.
So you mentioned in one of the diagram, like, the reports can be done in 5 seconds, something that, how is it, so fast when compared to the other, tools or whatever they are using in the companies right now, no?
Mhm. So I didn't say mention 5 seconds, but what I'm saying is that, if you have the data ready for you, right? If you have a data ready for you, what I just need to do is that I need to take a select a component. Okay, I have selected, like, for say pie chart. I need to tell them what is the data and what is the value I want to display. That's all. I have to do the configuration and then click, and then chart will be ready for you. You don't have to write a single line of code to design a chart for you.
So is it drag and drop tool like it is?
It is drag and drop. If you want, I can quickly show you, like, how it works. Let me, give me 1 second. Mm. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen. All right, let's say I want to design an interface, right? I just go and select the interface. I'll say new interface. I'll give the name as, like, say test 1, 2, 3. Put some description and then say create. Okay, and then you see that, okay, the one interface object has become. Now what I want to do, I want to have some, let's say, form layout. So I'll just say drag and drop. The form code has been done. It's ready with the form layout. Now I want to have some columns. I just drag and drop it here. So columns are created. Now within the 3 columns are created by default. If you want to add, you can just click per second. One more column will be added. If you want to remove any column, you can just click on delete. The column will be deleted. Now for each column, I want to have one text field. So let's go and have text field, drag and drop it here, put the text field. So text field is there now. Now I want to configure the text field, let's say, as a name. I'll say first name. All right, we don't have to write any code for this one. I want to put the label position not above, but I want to say, let's say justified. So the name will come here. All right, now if I want to have some instruction for this name, I'll say please add your first name. All right, you see that this instruction has been added here. So this is how we can put, some, drag and drop the things. Now, if you want to see the code, how the code is designed. Now, if you click on the expression mode, by default, if you're into the design mode, click on the expression mode, go here, and you see all this line of code has been created for you. Like the entire form, the buttons, cancel and submit buttons, the multiple columns, and then the text fields, the code has been designed. Right, so this is how this Appian coding works, and that's why I mentioned that it's very easy to design it. But if you think about creating this all thing in the Java, right? So you have to write each and every single line of code for creating a text field, but here it is not like that. You just drag and drop, and it will be ready for you. So this is one of the examples for interface. Let's talk about one example for the process modeling. Let's go to the process model and say test model. 2, 3. Put some description if you want, yeah, and just click on create. And some security things will become, and then by default it will give you the start and end node, and whatever you want to process in the start and end node, we can put it here. So let me show you. Let it go. Okay, so this is how the process will look like. So suppose I want to perform some task, like, so I'll take a script task. I'll say do some task, and then I want to have one more script task. I'll say uh, do another task. Suppose I want to put some calculation, right? And then let's say we have to put like one gateway. I want to decide, right? Let's say if user has clicked on is cancel, or let's say I'll say is cancel, and then I'll say take some user input task. If user click on cancel, take another path, put it here. I'll say, okay, if user has click on cancel, take this path, otherwise take this path, generate a task for the user. So this is how we can drag and drop the components that we have, and then we can configure the things here. Like suppose we have a variable, a value some call cancel in some variable, you can go and we can check into this, decide it, okay, what variable we want to design and what variable we want to have it here. So this is how drag and drop works for this Appian. All right. Yep. Is that clear? Yeah, guys. I mean, is there any questions?
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that Appian is same as service now. So whether it is a ticketing tool, I think as per my knowledge, service now is a ticketing tool. So do Appian providing the same functionality?
See, what I've said that those are the competitors of the Appian. So ServiceNow is a ticketing tool, but that allows you to give a process, right? Suppose if you raise a ticket, right? So what happens once you raise a ticket, it goes for a process. People do some approval, they check for this, right? There's a process behind this ticketing tool. So same way you can also create into the Appian. Appian also allows you to create that ticketing process, like uh, like incident management, where you report any incident, and it will go work. And the good thing is that that Appian can also integrate with that existing ServiceNow tools if already there, right? If you want to process anything with Appian and use the ServiceNow as well, you can easily integrate with the ServiceNow and create your own application.
In which industry most of the Appian tool is using? Like what kind of industry?
Financial, insurance, healthcare, and in the transporting, these are the tools that you are using this.
Okay. So how it is making easier for them? Like what is the actual use? What is the advantage of this tool by implementing this tool in their business process?
So there are lots of applications. If you talk about the financial services, right? So financial services have lots of the applications. They, like suppose loan processing. They wanted a customer onboarding process. They wanted to have like KYC process. They want to have like some risk management applications. So all those in-house applications they can build into the Appian. If you talk about the healthcare, right? Suppose in healthcare, for one of the example, I can say if you want to have some label change request, right? Because one medicine can be worked in the different countries, and each countries may have different uh, you know languages or the different perspective of this label, how its label should look like. So this label change request is also a very critical process. It's not easy to do that. So healthcare is also working on that one. Clinical trials, if you want to have the data to be collected for a clinical trial, it's very easy. I mean, it's good. Appian is a good tool to cover all those things. If you talk about the transportation, right, if you have any consignment orders to be received, take track the consignment orders and everything, all right? So those kind of applications will be built into the Appian. So that's why financial services, insurance, and then healthcare, and then logistics, all are now using Appian as a tool for them. And as I
Okay.
said, right,
In addition to this Appian,
uh
so what are the other technologies integrated with this? So, like if we want to work in a team, this is a tool, right? So, if
yes.
you're working in one project, so what are the other departments going to involve in this? Other technologies involved with this?
So suppose if you are using Oracle database, like it's not easy to change your database, right? Suppose your company has already like Oracle database and all the data has been kept there, right? So you can integrate with the Oracle database. So your DB team will be working with you, to have it. And then there's another team called testing team will be there for whatever you have developed to do the testing, and then deployment is like can be done by the system administrator or the lead of your. But in Appian usually a developer can also do their deployment. Why? Because it's an agile we are working on. Suppose your story is completed and you want to deploy your part, so it's very easy to take a patch and then do the deployment by yourself till, I mean, towards not only the higher environment, but yeah, testing up to the testing environment, and then UAT and then production should be done by the your team lead or the architect who is there.
Is this tool is friendly to user, that means customer, or to the business manager or business
It's the tool, I mean, it's not for the end users. When I say the end users, not like the customers. Like suppose I'm a customer to a bank, right? So bank will be using this tool, not I am as an individual, I will be using that tool.
Yeah, that is why, like,
Yeah.
what is the yeah, so it's only
So
for the management
in-house,
only, right?
in-house
Okay,
applications, yes.
okay. So
I
this
mean,
tool
Appian
is
has been
mostly
recently, Appian
useful
has.
for this tool is mostly useful for high-end management, like managers, project leaders, or something like that only, or
No.
anyone can
Like
use.
internal in-house application. When I say in-house application, right? Then in that case, lower to lower grade people. Like suppose, if I talk about one of, like we had discussed about this incident management system, right? So incident management system is not necessarily worked by the higher management, right? That can be done by
Okay.
the your employees who is working on that one, right? If I talk about the KYC process, so higher management is not going to do the KYC process, right? There are different teams who is going to work on that one, right? So there will be internal users or maybe external users who will be going and then checking the process in, like field work, doing the perform the field work, and then coming and then updating to the system. So everyone, I mean, it's not, I mean, restricted to the higher management or something. Each and every employee can work. Like as an think about it as a simple employee, you are just going to do perform like day-to-day work, right? And then you want to raise some request, right? So you need to go and raise a request for your site, right? For yourself. So it's not limited to the higher management. Everyone can within the organization can use this application.
For example, if I get a job, if I'm involved in a project, so for
Mhm.
that project, is it a for long-lasting project, or is it temporarily like a limited time period project? Because I want to know that this is continuous process. I know business
Mhm.
process management is a continuous process. But if I
Mhm.
get a job, so is there any time limit, time frame for that project,
No,
or
see,
it's
it
a continuous
depends on the
project?
client. It depends on the client. Like for example, if I talk about a client called, say, healthcare domain, like say Johnson and Johnson or the Merck, so they runs their projects very longer time. Like 5 years or 6 years. If you talk about the financial services like FRBs, the First Republic Bank, they have the project for like 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. But there are certain new projects as well. Which runs like 6 months or in a year or 2 years maximum. So that depends on your client. What is your client requirement and how long they wanted to have this project to be running and
Yeah,
how
because I
frequent they
saw
wanted to.
some job advertisements in UK. I live in UK,
Mhm.
so it's some of the ads are saying that only contract based, temporary based. Some of them is looking for a permanent role, like it's top level senior
See,
management, senior manager.
in
Yeah,
US and UK, the on-site side, now the job profiles goes in that way. Like contractor is one of the, I mean, easiest way to get people to hire, right? Because if you want to hire on a permanent role, right, it takes lots of process, and it's very frequent that people may change their jobs in to get for a higher salary. So that's why you can US prefers the contract based,
okay.
and not the permanent role. But in India, it will be for permanent role.
Yeah, but I'm in UK, so I just want to know how the market is here. I want to ask
Yeah,
the
I
next
mean,
question is that
UK market is also very high. You go and search in the LinkedIn, just type
yeah.
Appian and then
I just saw that.
they will be.
I've
Yeah.
gone through all that, so that's why I'm asking few more questions. Like,
Mhm.
Here most of the people are like top end, managers. They're sitting and they're
Mm,
observing. The back end will be in back home India or some other places.
mm.
My question is next on that one only. So how it will be like market here? It's not easy to get a top level job as without proper genuine experience. So India, we can try because that is they are the developer. They do the continuous process. Here, top managers just they will get the reports and they will follow through that.
So for Appian, people have get like position like AVP, you know,
Mhm.
AVP position in some of the financial company, but they are doing the Appian development. That's how it works.
Okay.
And mostly on site, what happens, people get the job, they because they are very close to the business. I mean, the customers. So what happens? They'll get the requirement. They'll suggest, okay, this is how we can proceed, and then they will pass that task to the offshore, and offshore team will do that. And then if they want, they can also have some tasks for themselves. What happens? Usually in the US and UK, people most of the time they use interact with the business to get the requirement done, right? So they
Yeah.
didn't get more chance to do the development. But if they do, so I have seen people like they are doing the development. They are like, suppose there are 5 stories, they keep one story with them. I need to work because they also need to hands on, right? That's a process.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hi, Harsha. Is this enough course or we need to learn SQL, any database also?
See, as I said, right, we are using MariaDB, and creating the tables in MariaDB and MySQL is very easy. You just have to. Let me quickly show you even that one, right? How we create the tables in MariaDB. If I go here and let's go to the cloud database, if I go here and say a new table, just give the name of the table and put the this fields like columns and then hit save, the table will be created. So it's not that tough to create the tables in MariaDB. And yeah, but if you are, it's always good to learn the things, right? So if you're working, so it will be very not that tough to learn. Yes, if you talk about the stored procedures, the complex logic for the view, you need to be hands-on. But what in Appian, what I have seen that every company, every organizations, most of the organizations, not I can say every, but yeah, most of the organizations, they have their separate database team, which will be creating the tables for you and then store procedures and views for you, and you just have to utilize them. But that depends on what client you get. Yeah, but it always good to have knowledge, right?
And also by using this APN tool, so
Mhm.
we need to create any application like if I need to like Abibus or something, any application we need to create one. So
Mhm.
in this process, we need to complete the 100% of total application, or we need to give it to any other tools also we need to require.
I'm not sure if I understood your question, but yes. See, any company, if they want, like for example, you said, right, lead management system. So, like company will not, the business will not ask you to create a lead management system for me. No, they'll say my application is a lead management system. We'll go in a step by step, like sprint by sprint. There will be 2 week of sprints. Each sprint may have 4 or 5 stories or 10 stories, each based on the number of developers we have, right? And each sprint we will be creating a step-by-step application, like starting from the taking the request and then submitting the database, and then another request is for like approval process, another request is for like a reporting and record. So this is how we proceed, and we can't go with the like half of the application, right? So if you are taking uh, any stories or any requirement, that will be fully you have to develop, right? Not the half of them.
Okay, thank you.
Is it platform independent too?
um Platform independent, what do you mean by that? Platform, what you
I
want
mean
to
to
know
say
about it?
that can I use it is any of the operating system? It's not only with the Windows. I can use with Linux, or I can use it with any other operating system. Or in, I
So
mean to
that
say, if
depends,
I
right? That's why I assume that depends. If your company is working with on-premise version, right? On-premise, so yes, you can go with the Windows and then the iOS and all, right. But yes, for the cloud versions, it's a browser based, right? So you can use into the Chrome, Explore, and then it can be also used into the three or four. I mean, there's a few browsers which is not supported, but almost all of the browsers are supported for this.
No, I'm not
Um,
talking about the browsers. I'm talking about the operating system. Suppose now if I have now in my system I want to use this APN. So how is it
uh,
like, if I have the Mac system, will I be able to
yes, yes,
use
you
it?
can. Yes. Mac, I mean iOS, and then Windows. Everything is everywhere. It's allowed to work. It's not like restricted to anywhere. It's independent.
So when you or when we are suppose if when we take up this course, so we have every day. Will you be giving some kind of exercises where we are supposed to do our work? Like, after explaining something, you give us work and then we have to.
So what we do, I personally, there different approaches of the training, right? People go topic to topic wise, but what my approach is that I'll go with I'll start with requirement for an application. First of all, we decide an application to be built, right? And then based on that, how we get the requirement, and then we'll start by designing an application, and we'll end of the session, end of the training, we will be having one application ready with us and working application with us, right? So the task that you said, right? Sometimes I will be giving you some task to perform, but most of the day, what will happen? Whatever I have done, it is always good to if you can uh, do the same thing in your own environment and do it by yourself. And the best thing is that if you can, like suppose if you are working with the lead management system, you think about some other use case and try to do some use case by your own, just by going through the session that we have it, right? So that's how you can create by your own. Every day you can do the practice.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Abhinav, for your questions, right, as you're asking, like, regarding job placement as a freshers, like, there are opportunity and what will you be like? See, Appian is very good in the market, and they are definitely offering a good package as well, right? But um, as a fresher, it depends on your consultancy. I mean, who is trying to get you onboarded to in a company. But yes, I mean, initially you won't get that good package because as you as a fresher, I mean, but definitely for as compared to the others, Java and all, right, you will get a good package. But in 1 year, within 1 year, you can, if you are very good and if you have really given your 100% in the in learning, and then you know the things well, right? In 1 year, you can have 100% of a hike at least. Yes. So that's how.
Do you think you have very good opportunities if we learn this tool?
Definitely, as I'm saying, right, I mean, Appian is a very highly demandable right on the market, and the package also they provide, right? It's as compared to other any other technologies, it's high. I have seen people getting 120% of hike. What else I can say? They
But
should be, good. I mean, in knowledge and all, right. That's how the Appian requirement is, right? It's too. I mean, you just go and search Appian, in LinkedIn, you will come to know that there's a lot of requirement. Uh,
for the real-time experience, is this enough for this course?
Yes. See, in this, like all the 32 5 sessions, like whatever we have it, right, you will be able to design the application by your own. You will be knowing the concept. You will be able to answer the things. What's the best practices we follow? What's the way of doing it, or how we are creating it? So all of those things you will be able to answer or mention. Yeah.
So when you give the environment, do you think we can access the environment? How does this work? Is it for free or how
So
is
we
it?
have yeah, it's a free. There's an Appian committee. You have to register yourself on the Appian committee, and then you will get a what do you say, that free environment for you. You have to request for a free environment, and once you get that, you can start practicing. The free environment will be assigned to you like in uh, 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. But there's a thing, like if you are not working on your environment like up to 5 days, then the access will be gone. You have to again raise a new request, and but then whatever the object you have created will be gone. So that's why you have to be working on those free environment at least a daily basis.
So you can, is that unlimited time that is, or is there any time restriction?
There was 45 days restrictions initially. Now they are in discussion, like to extend it. But right, what happened? There are a lot of members are now trying to access this free environment, which causes them to put a shutdown in between. Not sure if it has been started. So like last environment that I have created, it was like 3 months back, and still it is working. So I guess they have extended it already.
So the environment that you will be, using in order to explain the sessions, it will be different from what the environment that we will be using, right?
Yes, yes, that will be for your own environment.
So whatever, supposing that you have, you have showed something in the session, like, some kind of like, development. So the
Mhm.
same thing, suppose if you want to look into it again and we miss something and we have to go back to your, how you did it. We can't look into your environment, like only in the demo session that just we can access it and look into it, how you did it. We can't
Yes,
go and see your environment, like, what exactly, how the exactly that you have created the forms or
correct.
whatever it is.
Exactly. I need to share my password in that case,
Oh,
to
okay.
give the access. Yeah, because user creation is very limited. It's very if you keep creating the users, multiple users, right? Appian will ask you like because it's a free environment, right? And even for a free environment, they need space to allocate you, right? If you keep using it, like creating the other users, they can ask you like why you have using, like are you using for any business purpose, or are you earning from that one? So those kind of things will be there, right?
So how is it like,
I,
is it like so when the companies use it, like, suppose some development companies, they want to use this Appian, so they should have their own tool installed.
Yes, so they request the app, and they buy it. I mean, it's not like
they will
the
get
free
the
one they're
license
using.
for it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need to get the license, they need to buy it, and then
Is
they
that
will have.
expensive when compared to other tools?
Yes, it is expensive to compare. Like I guess it's see, it's expensive than Appian Pega. I believe last time I'm not sure about the prices, but yeah, the thing is that Pega comes with the different packages. Like you have to buy license for development environment differently, for database different, and then plugins for different. But in Appian, everything comes in the same package. Your IDP, your RPA, all those things come into the same package.
You have any idea how much does it cost?
No.
So the thing is, if it is expensive, then the companies might not go for that because they might go with the
But
cheaper.
yeah, it is expensive, but not like that. It will have a huge difference. So if that is the case, then company will definitely not go for that, and then there's no demand for Appian. But it is in a such a way that a company can afford. That's why it is growing, and then company are adopting this
After
environment.
complete after completing the course
Mhm.
tutorial like training session, if I want to go for certification, are you going to provide some sort of extra stuff and other required training for that, please?
I mean, there's no other training is required, but yeah, we'll try to. So right now, what happened initially? What happens? The question pattern was different. The exam pattern was different. There was no video conferencing, and you just have to go and give the exam. So
No, no, no.
user what
I want the
user
stuff.
what
I want the required material only. Whatever is
Yeah, the
required for
material
the.
will be enough.
Yeah.
The course content will be enough to go for the first level, the associate level of exam. Is But the
Okay.
senior level, it will definitely require some of your attention, your knowledge, and some practices to be followed. Yeah.
Okay.
But associate level will be fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
So how, what is the memory that they will give us in order to for the fee environment that we can play with?
I mean, it's a free environment, right? You can do as much of steps, but it's just that you can't create a number of users with different email IDs, because they based on the email address only, they can uniquely identify, okay, these are the new users that you have created. That's what. If you are trying to create a basic users with your same email address, which is fine, but uh, as of now they have not mentioned anything like you can use up to till this memory only. But yeah, I mean, maybe if they will feel like you are using it some other purpose, then they might raise a question. But yeah.
If it is free, then companies also they can use, without paying.
But
Why the
there is
need
a
of,
see in a free
purchasing?
environment, the free environment you cannot do the deployment. You cannot export any application. You cannot import any application. Those kind of things you can't do. You just do the development practice. That's the thing.
Okay.
Whatever you will be creating, you will not be able to export it,
Oh,
right?
you
And
just
then
like
and
it, so you as you said, like I asked you, like in the session, if you have design something and I want to access that you said, like the if I have a password, then I'll have that. So which means that it will be saved, right? Just it will be saved, but I can't import to the any other system, or I
yes,
can't
you
export to the other
can't.
system.
No, you can't.
So what is the requirement in order to is it a cloud, or you should have access to the cloud, right?
Yes,
So when we create the user ID password, like that's it, like just go to the Appian website and just if you have the email ID, you will be able to get the environment.
yes. Cool. Any more questions, guys?
Yeah, in the real-time scenario, like which type of scenario we will do more times, like in this any project,
Um, which kind of what? I'm sorry.
which kind of work in real-time scenario, which kind of work we will do more times.
um, like there's no, I mean, there's no like you have to design an interface a lot, less process model. You have to create an expression rule a lot, less the records and reports. But it's a kind of mix of things. If you are creating a process interface, right, for a workflow, then you need to create a process model for that one. If you want to create an interface only for the reporting, then you need to create some reporting feature, right? So that's how it's kind of mix up. It's not like it's not also a good thing to restrict yourself to the interface level or the process model level or some other things, right? It will be always a good thing to have mix up the things and create you know all the things. But mostly you will be creating interfaces, process modeling, expression rules. Database are very limited. Once you create a one table, that's done. Once you create a associated CDT data type for that particular table, that's done. But expression rules for your calculations, interfaces for your UI designing, and then process model for your workflow. You should be. I mean, you will be working on those objects mostly.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions, guys? Um,
So the session is only for an hour, which is from 9 to 10, right?
yes. I mean, it get extended for like 10 to 15 minutes, but yes, I mean, mostly we go for an hour.
So is there any WhatsApp group that you will be creating after we get
Will
enrolled?
be. Yeah. Once we get
Yes, yes.
identified the number of people, yes, we'll be creating that.
Yes, we'll be creating one WhatsApp group after payment complete.
Will be there any like after the course is completed, you guys will be any project that you guys will be doing it with us, like some kind of to get some real kind of experience.
So while training itself, we will be going through one applications, and then after the training has been completed, I keep myself available for some discussions, but not always, right? Because I have to get into the other team and then prepare for that one, right? But yes, I make myself available for some of the doubts if you have it.
Sorry, I attended at the late. What's your good name, please?
Ravi.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciated.
Thank you. Anyone else has any questions?
So, hi Ravi. So, do you? Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah. So, your training program covers, including the interview preparation too, like mock interviews and real-time projects from industries. Do we have like that parts too?
See, the thing is that uh, if we give you the lifetime projects that has gone in some applications, right, and some companies, and there will be a lot of people will talking about the same projects, right? Then that's there's a questions why these people are talking about the same applications, So that's the thing. But we will give you some interview questions, that is the like common questions that being asked by the most of the companies, right? So those we will be sharing with you. But the application, when I say the applications experience, if you want to share, try to make it unique and go with your own companies or nations or something like that, because copying pasting the same thing again, there's a question, right? Why everyone is because Appian is a very small world, right? IT itself is a very small world, and Appian within it, right? So I have interviewed many people, and they are talking about the applications which I have worked on, and then I was leading that team, and then they said, "Oh, I worked this application." I know, okay, you worked on this application. Tell me about these things. How many are team member and all, right? So that's why. Don't get into that one. Try to have some your own applications approach, something like that, and then talk about that.
Okay. So, if we finish this training, so we will be able to clear the certifications, or we will get that certifications help too.
See, what we do, we try to get some questions, like, there are like 60 questions, right? So nobody can remember the entire questions, right? So people, if I know someone, they say, okay, these were the some few questions that was asked in the interview, because now they do the video conferencing. You can't take a screenshot as well, right? So that's the problem. So we don't get that question very easily. So we try to get, ask the members, okay, you have appeared already. What other kind of questions was there? Can you tell me about one or two or three, four? So we try to get all those questions, and then if I get that one, then I will be sharing with you. But there are mock interview, testers available into the Appian. You can go with that, and you can try. Most of the questions are very similar to the mock test that are available.
Okay. Okay, Ravi. Yeah,
But you will
I
be
just
able to clear,
understood.
if you do the full concentration, you will be able to clear your first level of certifications, which is more than enough to get a job. And
Okay.
also,
And
one more point I want to just mention, if you are registering yourself with your own email address, right, that is fine for learning purpose. But for the certification, go with your company's email address, that will be,
okay.
because if your companies are the partner of your Appian, you will get a discount of 50%. And it's always a good practice to go with the company's profile as a certified, not as a personal.
Okay. Okay. So if someone knows Java or any other programming
Mhm.
language already, so will it be the added advantage in their CV if we know
Definitely,
if we learn this APN tool?
definitely. I mean, any extra knowledge is a plus point for in the CV, right? So definitely.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Ravi. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Uptam. Thank you. Yep. Anyone else has any questions, guys? All right, I'll take that as a no. And thank you guys for joining. It was a nice batch. I mean, I have seen that it's a kind of a freshers experience. Many other kind of people are there, right? So let's let me know, Saida, when we can start the timing and all. Then we can on that one.
Yeah, Ravi. Yeah, I'll call you.
Sure. Um,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Archana, you wanted to mention something?
No, no, Ravi. Actually, I was supposed to ask something like if you're fresher, right? If I don't have
Mhm.
any official email IDs, how will it work for
That's
me?
fine. That's fine. If you don't have any official ID, but you can go with your personal login. You can still learn, right? And then if you want to get it certified, you just have to pay $200 for one certification. That's what I'm saying. If you have your company's email address, which is good, but if you don't, then go with the personal. That's fine. You can say that. I was off the job. I was not working, so I learned and then I could I certified. That's how you can proceed. It's not
Okay,
mandatory, as I said, but yeah, if you have it, then it's good.
okay, Ravi. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No problem. All right. All right, guys. Then let's connect. I hope I'll see all of you on day one of training, and then we'll start some development. See you soon, guys. Then. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. See
Thank
you
you,
soon.
Ravi.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.